Hey guys, today I'm bringing you an explaining the meta video. So a couple things that you need to know is what the meta actually is, or a couple terms, and the meta is loosely defined as the current best strategy to win games. And a couple other things you need to know is peel, which is just when a champion uses crowd control such as slows, stuns, silences, other abilities to lock down someone to allow one of your teammates to escape. So the topics we'll be covering are all roles in League of Legends that champions fall under, and where specific roles should be played according to the current meta. So tanks are low damage, high survivability champions, and by high survivability I mean high health and high resist, such as armor and magic resist. They basically have two roles in team fights or just in the game in general, and that's one is to initiate or peel for carries. And the other is just to be a damage sponge, just to try to be in their team and try to make people attack you. Examples of tanks are Maokai, Malphite, and Shen. Next we have Bruisers. Bruisers are medium damage, medium survivability. So they're not as tanky as tanks, but they also have less damage than some of the other damage roles. Their jobs are either to peel carries or fight through enemy frontline, such as their tanks or other bruisers, to try to get to the enemy backline. Examples of this are Jax, Darius, and Garen. Anti-carries. Anti-carries are high damage, low survivability, but high sustain champions, which means they do not have the highest health pool, but they have really strong sustain, such as like Lifesteal or Spellvamp. So they can generally stay in the front line, and they can take poke sometimes and just heal up on the minion waves that keep coming through, or on any nearby enemies. They generally are in team fights, or just in the game in general. They stay on the front line and fight other bruisers or tanks until the carries become vulnerable, like they get out of position. Then they try to immediately gap close on the carry and kill them. Examples of this are Riven, Aurelia, and Fiora. Assassins. Assassins are extremely high single target damage champions with very low survivability. So really they just stay out of fights, like generally on on sides of the map where they can't be seen. And once the fight starts, they stay out of the fight for a little bit, basically just let your teammates die until all their crowd control is blown, enemy crowd control, and then you come in and you kill the carry. So if you're like a reset champion, kind of like Katarina, or not Katarina is an assassin, but like kind of like Diana, you can sometimes kill both carries. But the problem is they are ability reliant, so if you fail or miss all of your abilities, then you're done for. Examples of this are Fizz, Diana, and Zed. Next we have AOE Nukers. AOE Nukers are very high area of effect damage champions with generally very low cooldowns, so that way they can just keep spamming their abilities over and over and over again, and they would do a lot of damage to multiple targets. Their role is generally to stay in the backline and nuke down their front line before moving to the backline. Since they have really low cooldowns, they can spend them on tanks and still have them for when they have to fight carries. So it's really efficient for them to stay back by their other carries and just fight through the front line. Just basically act like a bruiser, but a squishy bruiser. And examples of this are Vladimir, Ryze, and Gragas. Mages. Mages are just ability power champions that don't fall under AoE Nukers or Assassins. They just do magic damage. They have high sustained damage to a small range of targets. So examples of this is like Ahri, Twisted Fate, and Malzahar. Marksmen, or used to be called ADC. They have really high damage auto attacks. So they have low survivability because they have a very small health pool, and they don't build much resist. They mainly just build damage, but they have very high sustain because they build lifesteal and do a ton of damage, so they heal a lot on every auto attack. So they're really strong. What they do is they stay in the back line and attack whoever possible while staying safe. So AD carry's job is not to get into their team and kill the enemy AD carry or the enemy mage or any of that. They're supposed to stay very back and try to not die, but they still want to be doing damage. Examples of this are Lucian, Tristana, and Ashe. Peelers. Peelers aren't really a actual role. They're just not really tanks and they're not really mages. They just have very low damage, very low survivability, but they have really high crowd control. So they're generally played as supports. They stay in the back line and peel for the AD carry or ability power carry, or like an AOE Nuker. Example of this is Nami and Morgana. Support. What the support does is they lane with the AD carry or Marksmen, like they go bot with them, and they protect the AD carry while not taking creeps, which are minions. And they assist the AD carry in getting through laning phase, and as well as they peel or sometimes initiate late game. This role consists of two different roles, which are tanks and peelers. Top. So now that we know what all the roles are, I'm going to go through where these roles are found. So for top lane, the roles that are often found in this lane is tanks, bruisers, anti-carries, and occasionally AOE Nukers, like Vladimir and Ryze tend to go top lane instead of mid lane. For jungle, the roles in jungle are generally the same as top. Like they have the tanks, they have the bruisers, and they have the anti-carries, but instead of having AOE Nukers, they sometimes have assassins, because when they gank, they have extremely high single target damage, so they can generally pull off the kill. Mid. The roles that are often found in mid are AoE Nukers, assassins, and mages. So basically just the ability power champions of the game. So for bottom lane, there are two people in this lane, and there are only two roles that are ever placed in this lane. And that's Marksmen's and support. So thanks for watching. I really hope you learned something. If you did, please like, subscribe. If you have any questions, please do so and put them in the comments. If you ask for a specific champion, I will tell you where or how to play said champion. So if you're not sure where to play Lulu, I can give you multiple options on where you could play them. If it's a highly asked champion or a really popular champion like Renekton or something, I might just make a separate guide for it, like another video entirely. I was also considering making a video on how to win ranged versus melee matchups, generally for top lane, but occasionally mid lane. If you guys have any feedback for that, please leave it in the comments if you think I should make it or not, or what videos I should make. That would be great and would really help me out. I hope you guys have a nice day.